Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Looking at the stocks on the move today here in Europe, I'm Caroline Hepker alongside Bloomberg reporter Chloe Millay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Novo Nordisk seeing a really big rebound. What's going on?
Yeah, Novo is getting some relief today. So last week we had a really tough week for Novo with some forecast that was disappointing. But then also when Hims & Hers, which is a telehealth company in the US, said that it would sell a cheaper version of Novo's new weight loss pill. And so that really, really weighed on the shares last week. And that was seen, of course, as a big blow to Novo Nordisk, given how much hope it was pinning on this new obesity pill. But then we had the US Food and Drug Administration saying that it would crack down on copycat weight loss drugs. And then Hims & Hers following that said over the weekend that they will actually stop selling those copycat pills after that pressure from the regulator. And this is the first time that Hims has stopped selling a knockoff version after a company complained. So definitely a big win, seen as a big win for Novo Nordisk, a big relief. And it means that now a comeback based on this new pill is still very much in the cards. And it is still worth noting, though, that Novo still has to contend with competition from Eli Lilly, which is also developing a weight loss pill. But the fact that there's no longer that competition from this particular set of copycat drugs is definitely seen as a positive.
Yeah, I think Novo Nordisk also had an advert in the Super Bowl. I haven't actually watched it. Wonder whether, maybe it probably wasn't Bad Bunny doing it, but apparently they had their own advert in, what is a very kind of coveted slot, very expensive slot to advertise to Americans. Thought that was interesting. Right, NatWest here in the UK making moves in wealth management in Britain.
So it's agreed to buy the wealth management company Evelyn Partners for £2.7 billion. So Evelyn was previously owned by the private equity firm Permira for about a decade. And this is now the largest private equity-backed wealth management exit in UK history. So it's a really big acquisition. And it's also NatWest's first major acquisition since the UK government sold its remaining stake last year. And this is going to be for NatWest part of a strategy of trying to gain access to wealthy clients in the UK. So the CEO has said previously he wants to expand in what he considers to be growth areas. And so that means going more into things like fee-based wealth management to try and diversify away from loans and mortgages, given that that is going to become a much less profitable area as the interest rates are starting to come down. And so this is part of that strategy. But shares were down in NatWest this morning. Some analysts have said that that might be because the earnings per share for NatWest will be taking a little bit of a hit from this deal. That will also hurt maybe the net asset value, reduce the possibility of some buybacks. And so investors are taking it maybe with a little bit less enthusiasm that NatWest had been expecting.
Okay, so that on NatWest. Meanwhile, InPost is sending out deal notices. Who has made this offer? Because a number of names here.
Yeah, there are loads of names, yeah. So there's the other, big deal that we had going on today. So parcel-locker company InPost agreeing to a takeover deal from Advent International, the private equity firm, and then also a consortium that was led by FedEx. And so this is a deal that values the company at about 7.8 billion euros, and the offer is a 17% premium to the last close. But analysts did note that the offer remains below IPO price, and some of them are saying that it does not fully reflect the potential of the company. But the InPost board is in favour, and the market reaction was definitely positive. We saw the shares really jumping this morning. It's quite an interesting reversal of fortunes for InPost. It was one of the worst performers in Europe over the last year in 2025, and now this takeover offer is sparking this massive rally in the shares. And now there is plans for a European expansion across different markets. So we'll definitely be hearing more about this company.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.